Thank you. I now give the floor to Commissioner Timmermans to respond to the debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I really want to thank Ms Schaake for this excellent report. Reading it, you sometimes get a bit of flavour of Dave Eggers, his writings about the downsides of modern technology and the ICT world. The report contains a number of very timely, pertinent and often challenging ideas and recommendations for action. The Commission appreciates the strong call on the EU to step up its efforts and strengthen the link between human rights, digital freedom, development, internet governance, trade and security. This same message can also be found in the Digital Single Market Strategy recently adopted by the Commission. The EU is committed to promoting human rights in all areas of its external action. Nowadays, given the increasing importance played by ICT in our daily lives and the expansion of internet access and access to mobile phones, mobile telephony, the promotion of human rights online and offline and the linkage between new technologies and human rights are key to our endeavours towards promoting human rights and democracy worldwide. We therefore share the European Parliament's view that ICTs are key in safeguarding and fostering human rights and fundamental freedoms. We also share the concern voiced in the report that certain fundamental rights, notably the right to freedom of expression and information, the right to privacy and the protection of personal data, may suffer violations as a result of unlawful or arbitrary surveillance, censorship, the unlawful interception of communications or collection of personal data, in particular when carried out on a mass scale and not for legitimate purposes. This requires us all to unite in our efforts to protect fundamental rights. We need to promote the development of democratic oversight capabilities in order to monitor activities by intelligence and law enforcement services, lest these are used to suppress dissent and free speech. This is firmly anchored in the EU guidelines for freedom of expression online and offline. And we are highly committed to promoting these guidelines in our relations with third countries. That's also why the Commission is very supportive of and welcomes the appointment of a United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to privacy. It is very important to ensure that our response to the terrorist attacks does not impact negatively on fundamental rights, notably freedom of expression and information, and the right to privacy. The European Security Agenda, adopted by the Commission this year, has made clear, therefore, that the Commission will strictly test any security measures for compliance with fundamental rights while ensuring their effectiveness. The EU is committed to assisting human rights defenders, civil society activists, and independent journalists to use ICTs to fight for freedom. The EU is also active in defending media freedom and pluralism and has launched 2 new independent projects in the framework of the European Centre for Press and Media Freedom with the support of this Parliament. The project will address media freedom violations in the EU and neighbouring countries and promote actions to support threatened journalists, complemented by digital training. The European Union has also adopted sanctions to prevent authoritarian regimes to use technologies to crack down on human rights defenders, for example in the case of Syria. In addition to country-specific sanctions, the EU is reviewing its export controls to prevent exports of sensitive technologies that could be misused in violation of human rights. We have introduced in December 2014 new controls on exports of intrusion software, and of internet monitoring technologies. And we are further exploring options to extend export controls to rapidly evolving cyber surveillance technologies that might be used for internet monitoring and or telecommunication surveillance in violation of human rights. As Ms Schaake writes in her report, there is indeed a need to mainstream the impact of technologies on the improvement of human rights in all the EU's external action. The Commission and the External Action Service are working together towards this goal. ICTs have helped to promote freedom on a global scale, and preserving its benefits is a shared responsibility for all of us: private sector, civil society, governments, international organisations and individuals. The European Union stands therefore ready to reiterate its commitment to promote unhindered, uncensored and non-discriminatory access to ICTs. Thank you very much, Madam President.